Hi Mom, or whoever watches this. Just going to show you a little bit of what we've been working on around here. So, along the deck here, there's some dirt between the concrete and the deck. And for the past couple years, weeds keep growing in there. Turn at an angle, there we go. And I finally decided, you know what, instead of trying to kill the weeds, pour more concrete, etc., I'll just plant some herbs I want that are going to choke out the weeds. So I planted mint. It's going to be fairly contained in there. Probably not the best conditions for the mint, but it's serving its purpose. It's choking out the weeds, and the bugs pretty much leave it alone, and I don't think it looks bad, but what do I know? Then I did the same thing over here. Same thing. Then a couple of the projects I worked on is this outlet went out down here. And I took a look at it. It was an indoor outlet for an outdoor receptacle. So I put an actual exterior receptacle, 20 amp, put an actual cover on it. Then we put a cord in there, strung it under the deck, since I didn't bother to wire up the whole thing professionally. Put it under the deck, brought it through, and then I put in basically an extension cord GCFI 4-outlet receptacle, mounted it, put a new plug. See, I'll show you here. Put a new GCFI plug. This is for the pool pump, and the other one was starting to go out, so I put this one on, and then I ran this cord under the deck, ran it up over here. Let me get a better view. So you can see where I ran it up by the stand over here. There we go. See it coming up through the crack. Goes up the pole. I put a 3-way receptacle, just a plug-in outdoor electrical one. So now we have, it's the green one if you can see it. You can plug in cell phones or whatever. Brought it up. And now we have all these lights, and I'll take a picture at night. Then the pool, nice and clear. Why the kids have dumbbell weights in there, I have no idea, but at least they're plastic, so they're not going to rust. Needs to get vacuumed out, but the water's nice and clear. We clean the filter, the cartridge filter, we clean it like once a day. And then I planted another mint plant right here next to concrete, so I don't have to constantly be pulling weeds there. These are all strawberry plants. And as you come around here, more strawberry plants. So now I don't have to worry about the kids mowing right up against the siding and weed eating, etc. The damage on there was from when we bought the house. I still have to repair that, but I didn't want to repair it until I was done working next to the house. So, yeah, so that's got a ton of, we grew sweet potatoes in there last year to kind of break up the soil, get some fertility into it, even though the grass was growing great, and to kind of choke out the grass. And then bunch of grass mulch last year. Put in some stable compost, or stable compost, been sitting for years. Put that in there, a couple layers, mulched with it. I have to pull the weeds a little bit, but it's pretty much got a handle on the weeds. I did put, let's see, we're filling up the pool, topping it off, and it is full. Turn that off. I put in this brick quickly last year so the kids weren't in the mud getting in and out of the pool, and the grass is all up in it. So I think we're going to resort to weed and grass killer, poison, because I can only pull so many weeds and manage the kids pulling so many weeds, because it does require management. I don't just magically do it. All right. Play set for the younger kids. They were excited when that showed up in the backyard. I thought it was a joke or something. I have to pull the grass because we took off for a couple weeks and left it, but I can say I got a good start. That's basil, and there's more all in there. That big plant is dill, and I just harvested the seed, some of it, and I'll show you that. I am not planting any more greens along here. I'm going to put in flowers, but this is chard. It has gone to seed in a big way, so today I'm going to chop off all the seed heads, hang them up to dry in the shed, and harvest that seed. And then all of this along the deck is coming out, and in are going like zinnias and marigolds and morning glories that can travel up the banisters. Has some banister repair. It just kind of, the board's warped. They're only held in with like these little, not even two-pronged staples. I guess they're little finishing nails. That's what happens when previous owner hires it done on the cheap. So we've been repairing. Everything that's up has been repaired. We just have to finish repairing it. Told you I was going to show you the dill seed. So here it is. There's still more on the plant that's still a little green, so I'm waiting, but I'm going to let that dry. Plastic's not the best. Paper would be better, or a cloth, bag, but I'll just leave the bag open so it can vent. Let it dry, and then I'll work all the seed off and get rid of the chaff, and we will have plenty here. I'll change the lighting angles for better lighting. Put up the fence, and these are marigolds all along the bottom that are just starting to flower, as you can see over there. Some corn. The raccoons, I'm pretty sure raccoons are getting into it. So I harvested some. I don't think I'm going to keep continuing. I was going to rotate it through, but I think I'll just put something else. Pulled an onion by accident? Okay, that's fine. We'll harvest it. Don't bruise it by throwing it. He threw it. Sunflowers over there. This is why I have to manage, supervise. I forget which watermelon's which. One of these is like a seedless sugar baby. The other one's another variety, but both varieties are small melons so that they can fit in the fridge, and I don't have to worry about bringing in giant watermelons. Not that I would successfully grow giant ones, but whatever. And then once again, I forget, but half in the middle, half of that is cantaloupe, the other half is honeydew. Obviously we'll figure it out when they grow. Harvested our first okra today. We've got green okra over here, and then scattered through the garden is red okra. We've got tomatoes growing pretty much by every post. I did not get around to caging all of these in time, so I guess the ones that aren't caged are going to get some heavy pruning, get caged, and we'll just go with it. There is, I don't know if you can see it, but right, am I pointing at the right thing there? Let me move over this way. So, celery right there next to the squash plant. And then right there is more celery. And there's a couple more in there that are hidden by the plants. We are finally winning the war on the grass. Thankfully it's big clumps. F-22s, practice flights. Anyway, they're going in for a landing, or at least a touch and go. Kids are pulling around peppers. We've got all kinds of different colored bell peppers, pretty much all the colors: yellow, orange, red, green, brown, purple, tons of green onions. Be careful on those. If you pull them up, just replant the green onions, okay? Little ones. All kinds of different varieties of tomatoes. I don't think I have too many repeats on varieties. Variety didn't make it this year. Oh well, I got plenty of others. We've got jalapenos, yellow, what are they called? Sweet banana peppers. They were the first to produce, and they are going bananas, like banana peppers. Yeah, so that's, maybe one squash plant per. Oh, one thing I did try new this year is I do have some, what they call dinosaur kale. Went ahead and started it, and it seems to be doing well. And then it's pretty much the same thing on the other side of the garden, except it has some turnips, beets, parsnips, carrots. I said radishes. I have got green beans growing up the trellis. Oh. Cucumbers growing up the trellis. I chopped it. Okay. Just to get some air and light in there. Let's see, what did I say? Cucumbers, like cherry tomatoes, paste tomatoes growing up the trellis, green beans. Some of them didn't make it. I think I planted them too early. But accidentally pulled the onion. That's okay. I'd say that was a success anyway. And there's no seed head on it. It either already came off or whatever, or didn't produce one. And so I'm going to try to harvest the seed from it and then start them in the fall. The pallet box you see over there, pallet bin, that had potatoes, garlic, onions growing in it, and a little more potatoes to harvest, and then we're done with that. So yeah, I'd say it's a pretty successful gardening year already.